Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Really excited for today's video. The beer is courtesy of Billy. Thanks much, Billy. I really appreciate it. This beer sounds equal parts amazing and insane. So it is Sierra Nevada. Okay, well-established brewery for decades. Narwhal, delicious beer established for decades. Barrel-aged, maybe a decade established. But listen to this guy. And I know it's already in the title, but barrel-aged peanut butter cup narwhal, stout aged in bourbon barrels with cocoa nibs and natural peanut butter flavor, 12.7% ABV. Let's see. Hold tight as this flavored narwhal imperial stout dives to new depths, an abyss that's rich with cocoa nibs, peanut butter flavor, and hints of vanilla from the bourbon barrels. No need to unwrap candies. Pour this legendary dessert right into your glass. And this is from, let's see, January 25th of this year. So we got February, March, just over 2 months old. So, not a style that needs to be consumed super fresh, but yeah, it's not that old of a beer. Let's get into it. I have one more can, that looks nice, of the regular barrel-aged narwhal that I'm still waiting to, because I did one relatively recent for Stellar Saturday. So I'm going to let that one sit for a little longer. And then I have maybe 2 bottles up there. I don't know if it's might be off camera, that are a little older vintage. But, it is a beer I like. I like Narwhal proper. I have some here. It's at 2013 right there. So it's definitely a beer I like. The bottle barrel-aged ones I think are probably better than the can ones, to be fair. So I'm really excited to try this just to see, since it's different vintage than what I've had, but also has these adjuncts. So I'm like really excited is my point. When I was pouring it, there was, dark cola, brown to it. Once it's in, it's mostly black, a little bit of brown in there. So not quite motor oil, but close. Right now, one finger of slightly darker than mocha. Like it's mocha. It's in the realm of mocha. It's like how much, are you cutting the coffee essentially? So it's a little dark on the mocha side, but definitely mocha. Just a little bit more than normal mocha. For me, yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's get into the relatively compact bubbles. Some even look like they could be nitro bubbles. Anyway, let's get into the aroma. Peanut butter. It took me a couple sniffs to get through the peanut butter. You do get, it's more peanut butter than chocolate. So it's not quite like Reese's peanut butter cup where you're probably going to open it and get a decent amount of chocolate because that's what's on the outside with some of the peanut butter, like when you first smell it. It's almost like that in reverse. Definitely more peanut butter than chocolate. Because the peanut butter is so dominant, it's hard to get much else. It's definitely sweetness to it. So you do get that. It's a sweet peanut butter. It's a sweet chocolate. But realistically, it's probably like 80% peanut butter. So like I'm not getting bourbon notes. I'm not getting oak. I'm just getting 80% peanut butter and like 20% sweet milk chocolate kind of a thing. You know what? No, that's it. All right, let's get to the taste. Cheers. Thanks again, Billy. Okay, good. And this is what I thought was going to happen. Once I tried it, I would get more things going than I got in the aroma. Nice level of roast. So it does have like that stout roastiness, beeriness, right? So so a lot of dessert elements going on as they're acknowledging on their label. But there is a roasty stout anchor, which I want a beer right now. So Again, no hype beer reviews. Try to go in without really thinking about, a preconceived notion of what a beer shouldn't or shouldn't taste like, or what I want it to, or whatever. But I'm a human. You can't help it sometimes. More sometimes, less other times. I wanted something that drank like a beer, but I wanted something a little sweeter. And I was like, hey, I got this. I think this might be the ticket, and it is doing that thing. way less peanut butter than the Aroma, but keep in mind, again, like 80% of the Aroma was peanut butter, 80% of the drinking experience is not peanut butter, but it's there, right? It's not like super muted or something. From what I'm remembering, the base, there might be a little bit more of a chocolate note. I'll have to take another sip and look for the chocolate. I'm just, I like to think about, like, if I was doing this blind, right? The nuttiness, the peanut butter, fair enough, an adjunct. But the chocolate, at least initially, I'm not like, oh, obviously this has something helping the chocolate versus what you could get out of a regular stout without it. And then like the Aroma, so far anyway, I'm not getting a lot of barrel or bourbon characters, but I think my palate had to kind of process first. So I'm going to go in again and see, what's the same, what's different, what am I getting more of, that kind of a thing. Now that I've tried some and I'm smelling it again, a little bit more chocolate's creeping up, but it's still like 75-25. Okay, good. So peanut butter hits you up front, then some of the chocolate. Again, I think you could probably get this level of chocolate without the cacao nibs. It's not like super chocolatey. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering the beer and how intense of a chocolate note it has. Once, like, after the sweetness of the peanut butter, some of that, milk chocolate, once the roast, once the bitterness, and it's like a coffee bitterness, not a hoppy bitterness, not that it's overly coffee, but I mean that roastiness. Once that hits, that for me is when the barrel specifically and the bourbon specifically come through. I don't really get it before it kind of like dries out with the bitterness a little bit. So a little bit of vanilla, the vanillin, which they acknowledge too, so I appreciate that. A little bit of the oak. The bourbon, I'm not getting like coconut, nothing like that, but I do get just a whisper of bourbon specifically. Excuse me. Then it, 12.7%, a little bit of warmth, not getting on the palate still, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, the same thing's happening. The initial sweetness, well, the dessert elements of this beer, the bitterness stays, like kicks in and stays. With the bitterness comes in some dryness. As I'm talking now, good. It's like not quite 50-50. I don't know, I'm talking so much percentages in this review. And anyway, a good mix, more roasty bitterness than the oak, but a good mix of both. So it dries, or it finishes drier. Like when you first sip this beer, not that it's like the craziest of pastry stouts, but it does have that sweetness to it. But man, like once you finish, relatively dry for what this beer is, kind of like thirst inducing because of the drier quality that it has. This is doing a nice job of, I'm getting the base beer, which I love the base beer. I'm getting the adjuncts, and by that I mean the peanut butter more than the chocolate, but I'm getting both, to be fair. And then I do finally get the barrel. I wonder how different this beer would be if it wasn't bourbon barrel aged and they took the base Narwhal, omitted the barreling, and then did the exact same with the peanut butter and the chocolate, the cocoa nibs. How different this beer would taste, because it is a relatively low end barrel and spirit. But it's there, but I don't think it'd be that different either. It's really good. I got to say that too. That I did it before this one. From them, that it was almost like a chai version of their Bigfoot. It had some of those similar spices. That one is, if I saw both these on the shelves, that's the one I would want. But that being said, that's not making this a slouch. I just can't help but compare because it's from the same brewery and it's like beers I'm used to with adjuncts, so I can't help but compare. So I figured instead of just thinking it, I would vocalize it. But yeah, this is nice. And I love peanut butter and chocolate together. Who doesn't? Well, I shouldn't say who doesn't. I'm sure plenty of people don't, especially people who have a peanut allergy. So don't be a jerk. Of course, if you have a peanut allergy, why are you watching this review? How about that? Comment section below. Do you have a peanut allergy and you're watching this review? Are you trying to live vicariously through me? Do you like self-punishment? You let me know in the comment section below. Are you like, well, it just has peanut butter flavor, so maybe it's safe for me to consume? Anyway, time to wrap it up. Yeah, thanks again, Bill. I really appreciate it. Have you guys had this beer before? Have you had a beer that sounds like this you want to tell me about? Do you have a peanut allergy? Whatever. Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.